Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso at thewatchbox.com. Your purchase and pricing connection for any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Reach out to me directly for purchase and pricing of this watch at tmosso at thewatchbox.com. And today we're discussing a 100-piece limited edition launched in 2017 for British retailer Harrods, a legendary retailer which has long had a series of partnerships with major watch developers. Harrods is often the source of some of the best special editions in the marketplace, and this Panerai Luminor Marina 1950 PAM 745 is no different. Basically like the 359, but with a blue dial, the timepiece exudes quality and refinement. It's a large watch, grade 5 titanium and 44 millimeters in diameter, 18 millimeters thick, and 54 millimeters lug-to-lug with a 24 millimeter spacing between the lugs. I'll throw it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, and I would opine that you probably shouldn't wear this watch on a wrist smaller than mine. I think I'm probably the lower limit for wearing this, at least in terms of the way it looks. It's light enough that you could go a little smaller, but you can see that the lugs are approaching the edge of my wrist, and probably no angle shows that better than the direct overhead shot. It's also far too thick to fit underneath any kind of a jacket. But in grade 5 titanium, with a sapphire caseback and a sapphire dial, it's fairly light on the wrist. It is not heavy. The strap is handsome. And as you can see, it is a lovely, if you're familiar with the Audi color code Nogaro blue, it's this. This is a lovely medium blue with a little bit of a purple undertone. Now you can see that there is a molded in spline section to the strap to give it a little bit of visual definition. And of course it's branded on both sides, Officine Panerai. It's also hollowed on the underside to allow the wrist to breathe a little bit better. And as you can see, the traditional Panerai trapezoidal pin buckle is present and correct, brushed in titanium. This watch uses Panerai's upscale quick release system for the lugs. So you press the spring-loaded trigger on the bottom and then you push the bar through. It gives you the security of a screw and bar setup, but also the quick release ease of a proprietary link, like you'll see the quick releases on a Cartier Santos or an Hublot Big Bang Unico. The difference here is that you can use any strap of the correct lug spacing, which is 24. You don't need a proprietary strap for that quick release. This is the Luminor 1950 case. It recalls the 6152 combat watch, the 1950s, and in the modern era, the 1950 case came back in 2002 on the PAM 127. It lives on here. It's a more sophisticated, curvaceous, and nuanced case than the 1993 Alessandro Betterini case that first launched on the civilian Luminor. In good taste, it's almost entirely in satin finish, with the sole exception being the polished conical bezel. Okay, cover that up. You already know who makes this watch. That crown guard is so iconic that at a glance, not only do you know what the brand is, but you know it's a Luminor. Not only is it a design icon, but it makes a lot of sense. The crown guard prevents you from accidentally hitting the crown head on, so there's more protection than a shouldered crown guard. You can see there's a little bearing inside the cam lobe. It's called the runner bearing that makes the actuation smoother. It's also hard to jump into the water with this crown unlocked, because this is a lot harder to miss than a screw down crown that's turned out a few rotations. Now you can also easily lock and unlock the crown when your hands might be wet, sweaty, or gloved. This also avoids wearing out the stem seal, since you're not threading through it, you're merely compressing it and decompressing it. Now a quick note on functions here. The watch has a lovely time zone functionality, so if I'm traveling, I can actually set the hour forward or backwards in steps without attacking the position of the minute hand or the progress of the seconds hand. And as you can see, I'm able to actually turn the date forward or backwards as I travel east or west. And if I pull the crown out all the way, I stop or hack the movement, so it has stop seconds. The hands are lovely rose gold plated, and they are a nice warm tone against the matte blue base. This is an all Arabic numeral dial. Again, the 359 is the dial that comes to mind, but this one is all in blue. Underneath, you have a conventional Luminova dial. There's no ecru photina, and I happen to like that. It's sandwich dial construction, which means you have the stencil with the indices and numerals placed on top of a solid disc of lume. It creates a nice three-dimensional effect, and you'll see that in the lume shot. Turn it all over, you can see, of course, There were 100 made. This is number 79. It's 300 meters water resistant. You can see the logo of the retailer Harrods on the back. Take a quick look at the movement. Panerai, manufacturer caliber P3, 9000 I should say. 9000 is the automatic version, and this is the automatic version. It winds bidirectionally, so there's no rotor wobble like you'll find with the unidirectional system. Winding bidirectionally, it pivots on a ceramic, or I should say hybrid ceramic bearing with a steel race and ceramic balls. Unlubricated, it has high efficiency but also minimum maintenance requirements. It is free sprung for shock resistance, and you can see it features both a combination of blued and polished screws, beating away at 28,800 vibrations per hour and pivoting on 28 joules. There's a lovely satination across the bridges, and the bridge is designed, the primary bridge over the barrel in the train, it's designed to remind you of the three-quarter style bridges used on the pocket watch movements from Rolex and Angelus that Panerai would have used in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. As you can see, there's also a lovely radial satin graining outboard. And then you can see there's polish on the polished screws as well as the regulator cap. This is a gorgeous movement, a handsome one and a rugged one. It is also an accurate movement inside a watch that has immense character. You'll need a big wrist and a big personality to pull this one off, but it's definitely equal to the occasion. Reach out to Tim Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details. The PAM 745 beating away with its 3-day power reserve.